An extraordinary development tonight in the long-running investigation into Douglas County Judge Christina Peterson.
In a rare move, a hearing panel decided Peterson is guilty of, quote, systemic incompetence and should not remain in office.
Now, you gotta hear why this judge was kicked off the bench, and she's going to scream racism because she's finally being held accountable for her actions. Let's get into it. This is Judge Christina Peterson. She was elected as the first black woman probate judge in Douglas County, Georgia. This happened in 2020. Now, during that time, there was this wave of female empowerment and progressive change in politics. Some examples are Letitia James in New York, Fannie Willis in Fulton County, Georgia, Tiffany A. Hinyard in Dalton, Illinois, and Judge Christina Peterson.
I, Christina J. Peterson,
do solemnly swear or affirm.
do solemnly affirm.
Now, Judge Peterson claimed to be a powerful and educated black woman who defied stereotypes. Now, as a black woman, she demanded to get paid more than the previous probate judge. See, the previous judge made about $96,000 a year, but Peterson said she needed to make more. She wanted to make what these senior judges were making, and that was about $173,000 per year. But Peterson was just a first-time judge. How can you have an inexperienced judge just come in and demand to be paid what judges who have been there for 10 years make? This is what happened.
New developments in a Fox 5 I-Team investigation involving how big a paycheck a newly elected judge should be getting.
Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis says taxpayers won't be paying the judge as much as she wanted, but still more than some elected leaders feel that she deserves.
I'm looking for fairness across the board.
And for soon-to-be Douglas County probate judge Christina Peterson, fairness would be to make $175,000 a year, around what the superior and state court judges in Douglas County are getting.
It's not being fair and consistent. I have those same qualifications as everyone else.
Forget that she's never been a judge before, and the probate judge's job is mainly to process wills, birth certificates, and marriage licenses. The man she's replacing made $96,000 a year.
She knew what the pay was when she signed up to run.
Now, the chief judge then weighed in on this claim by Judge Peterson that she was being discriminated against because she was a woman, and that's why she wasn't getting paid what the other judges were getting paid. See, the Chief Justice showed the numbers, and a probate judge handles about 700 cases per year, where other judges handle about 10,000 cases per year.
The issue was so contentious in Douglas County that the chief judge of Superior Court offered his opinion before the budget vote, sending commissioners this letter listing the small number of probate court cases, 647, compared to the caseload for all the other courts.
It's not fair to compare that court to the other judges.
But Judge Peterson screamed racism and sexism. And the Democrats who were on the committee who decides who gets paid what came down on the judge's side, making her the highest paid judge in the county, even though she had no experience. She had race. Remember, she was the first black woman.
But commissioners would do just that, voting 3-2 that since Peterson is an attorney and her predecessor is not, she deserved a supplement of $36,688 to go with her state-mandated $88,110 a year salary. She'll make at least $124,000 a year.
We have a 3-2 vote and the motion carries.
But that's not all. State law allows the probate judge to keep any fees paid for birth and death certificates. This year in Douglas County, that added up to more than $70,000. Retiring Judge Hal Hamrick kept half, returning the other half to the general fund. Judge Peterson says she will keep it all, meaning if that fee amount repeats next year, her actual pay could rise to as much as $194,000. That would be more than any other judge in the Douglas County Courthouse.
DEI for the win. Now, remember, Judge Peterson also gets to keep any fees paid for birth certificates and death certificates under the law. Now, according to Douglas County records, in 2022 and in 2021, she averaged about $140,000 in fees. Now, not only did that make her one of the highest paid judges in the county, if not the highest, but she's even getting paid more than the Georgia Supreme Court Chief Justice, who only makes $216,000 a year. Combined with the fees, Peterson makes $265,000 a year, $50,000 more than the Chief Justice on the Georgia Supreme Court.
Then there's how much she makes. Last year, Peterson made $266,000, more than any judge in the courthouse, more than the Supreme Court justices who will eventually decide her fate. That's largely due to her ability to keep all the birth and death certificate fee money from last year, around $139,000, in addition to her $127,000 annual salary. She can legally do that because, unlike some other counties, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners never put a cap on those fees.
It's not your fault. It's our fault because we did not cap something.
Earlier this month, Commissioner Ann Jones-Guyder proposed a $50,000 cap.
We never capped anybody else. Why now?
I'm not saying take it all away. I'm saying cap it. Make it reasonable. There's no reason any county official should be making $250,000.
Now, when people inquired about it, the judge screamed racism. And guess what? They allowed her to keep every single dime of the fees. Now, this is DEI in action. You got a rookie judge handling a small fraction of cases, getting paid more than any other senior judge there, and all because she's black. Now, after all of that was settled, then a video surfaced of Judge Peterson campaigning. Now, in this video, she's pretending to be a white man with a mustache, giving explicit sexual relationship advice to online followers. Check it out.
While running for probate judge in 2020, Christina Peterson posted a satirical, sometimes sexually graphic video of her playing a white man giving dating advice to a black woman.
Now, even though that was bad, judges aren't allowed to solicit the public for personal donations, right? Give me money because I'm a judge. But when authorities looked, they found that that's exactly what this judge did. She was asking, as a judge, for donations to her Cash App from the public on her birthday. Now, again, judges are forbidden from soliciting donations from the public directly, especially on their official public page.
Christina Peterson has only been a judge 6 months, but already she faces allegations she's brought, quote, disrepute upon her office. In a filing from the Judicial Qualifications Commission, the group that investigates complaints against judges, Peterson is accused of using her social media account to solicit cash donations for her birthday. According to the JQC complaint, on her birthday last August, Peterson posted this on her official Christina J. public Instagram page. A picture of herself wearing a birthday tiara and listing her Cash App account. Quote, if anyone feels like sharing their quarantine wealth. When JQC investigators contacted the judge this year, the complaint says Peterson explained she thought that post was to her private personal page, and I was wondering on that day why I was getting Cash App from people I didn't know. The JQC said in her Instagram bio, Peterson called herself Judge-elect.
If it was done in public, it's a cardinal violation, which is an intolerable activity for a judge to do. A judge cannot stand up and say, I'm a judge, send me money.
So Judge Peterson was breaking all the rules, and that was even before she got sworn in as a judge. Then she became Judge Peterson, who, as we saw earlier, has an issue with interracial relationships. Now, the judge had to deal with an issue concerning a Thai immigrant who married a black man. Now, P.G. Skelton married in Douglas County in 2016. Now, this was before Peterson took office. Now, Skelton had written her uncle's name on her original marriage license because she didn't know her father's name. So she wrote her uncle's name on the document because that is who raised her. That was her father at the time. Then later, she discovered her father's real name. So she went to get her marriage license amended. She filled out the paperwork to change the name on the marriage license and went in front of Judge Peterson. Now, Judge Peterson, seeing an Asian woman married to a black man, decided to make things difficult. Peterson told her that she had to come to court and then ordered her jailed for 48 hours and fined $500 for contempt.
I just don't have memories of my dad. I don't know who he is.
The most troubling, wrote the panel, Peterson's decision to jail this woman for trying to amend her marriage certificate to include the real name of her recently discovered father.
Did you go to this hearing with any idea that you may be going to jail?
No.
PJ Skelton served 2 days of a 20-day jail sentence for contempt before her husband could pay a $500 fine. Such a hasty and shockingly disproportionate reaction is the hallmark of Peterson's intemperance.
Now, even Peterson acknowledged that this was too harsh for her to jail and fine this woman who sought to amend her marriage license. And she did all this while the woman wasn't even represented by an attorney. Then Judge Peterson decided that she wanted to allow some of her friends to get married at the courthouse. So Judge Peterson asked the sheriff if she could just let her guests in without being screened. The sheriff told her no, this was a security issue. But Judge Peterson said, the hell with the rules. She's the judge, and she allowed them to come into the courthouse unscreened anyway.
On a Saturday afternoon this past April, probate judge Christina Peterson, seen on this security video in the black robe, presided over a wedding inside the closed Douglas County Courthouse. This happened even though Peterson was told something judges don't often hear. You can't do that.
You cannot go in this building, and eventually she went in.
The sheriff's office said Peterson had originally told them the wedding would be that morning. So just like during the week, deputies opened the courthouse that Saturday to make sure anyone entering the building was properly scanned. But when no one else showed up that morning, the deputies locked up and left. Hours later, Peterson arrived and opened the courthouse, ignoring the sheriff's office orders, and let the wedding party and guests wander the second and third floor of the courthouse unscreened.
If you don't go through the screening station and you're a citizen, you could drop off a gun, put it in the trash can in the bathroom. There's places in there you can hide things that could hurt people.
Did the judge put anybody at risk that day?
She put all of the employees that work in this courthouse and the citizens who would come that Monday morning at risk.
So Judge Peterson didn't care about the rules. She is the law. Now, Judge Peterson had a county credit card that was only supposed to be used for county business. But investigators found some suspicious charges on that credit card for USAA insurance totaling about $4,400. Now, Peterson didn't provide any reason why the county would need to pay for USAA insurance.
Meanwhile, the GBI continues investigating whether Douglas County employees misuse their purchase cards to buy personal items. Judge Peterson doesn't have a P card, but she does have a county credit card. We found around $4,500 charged to USAA insurance. Peterson did not provide records showing the county purpose for those charges. Her attorney offered no additional information.
Is Judge Peterson worried at all about this GBI investigation?
Now, on top of that, Peterson was also involved in a war with her homeowners association, or HOA. See, Judge Peterson went to an HOA meeting and decided to threaten the homeowners association because she was a judge. Now, eventually, there was a settlement of all claims between Judge Peterson and the HOA, but Judge Peterson was representing some clients. Now, the HOA essentially settled for, I think, $70,000, but the people who Judge Peterson represented never got a dime of that money.
A probate judge knows what she's talking about. Listen to her. She got 2 pending lawsuits against us right now.
The angry reaction to Peterson stems from a lawsuit she and others filed in 2017 against the HOA that led to a $70,000 settlement. According to a complaint filed against her by the Judicial Qualifications Commission, Peterson never shared that money with her clients.
Yeah, she just up and bounced with the cash. And anytime anybody criticized Judge Peterson, she played the race card. You're racist. You're only complaining because she's a black woman.
And when county staff criticize her actions, it quickly triggers allegations of obstructionism or even racism. These communications and actions reveal a judge who publicly vilifies colleagues, is quick to threaten them with unnecessary legal action, and generally projects a spiteful and vainglorious persona.
I'm the first African-American female and Democrat. Yes. I was never celebrated or congratulated. on my day of swearing in, I was sworn in by Judge Emerson. I received my first JQC complaint.
Now, after these 30 charges were dropped on Peterson, she defended herself, and her main defense was that she was an inexperienced judge. And she had promised that all of the additional training that she received had helped her overcome this inexperience. But the problem is that Peterson is the highest paid judge in that county. So the most inexperienced judge should be given a pass for all these ethics violations, even though she's being paid more than any other judge?
Peterson's main defense was her inexperience as a judge, a problem she promised has been addressed through additional training. But the panel was not buying it. The report also cited multiple examples of failure to actually do her job, needlessly delaying petitions before her office. The hearing panel said Peterson was guilty of systemic incompetence. Judges are expected to act in a manner that promoted the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Respondent has shown that she cannot or will not do so. And so, she must go.
Now it's up to the state Supreme Court to weigh in. Remember, this is a probate judge who is making more than any judge on the Supreme Court salary. And the judges in her local county, sitting as hearing officers, voted unanimously to remove her from the bench.
An extraordinary development tonight in the long-running investigation into Douglas County Judge Christina Peterson.
In a rare move, a hearing panel decided Peterson is guilty of, quote, systemic incompetence and should not remain in office.
Now, we have clients who don't got their money. You have people getting locked up for no apparent reason. This judge seems to have gone rogue. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the state Supreme Court is going to agree with the lower court ruling based on what you've heard and bounce this judge? Do you think her claims of racism are going to play with the state Supreme Court? Let me know in the comment section how you feel. Let me know if this judge should stay a judge or if she should not only lose her license, but lose her judgeship. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.